This might be one of the best cloaks in Forspoken, but in order to get it, you're going to have to jump through some hoops and do one of the most challenging labyrinths in the entire game. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get the cloak and where the cloak is located. So the cloak we're going after is called Vermint, and it gives you a huge boost to all types of magic and has some pretty good perks for when your health is low, such as boosted damage, critical hit rate increase, stamina recharge rate, and surge magic recharge rate. All of these apply when your health becomes very low. Now that we know what the cloak is, let's talk about where. So this cloak is located in Locked Labyrinth North in Vistorian Isthmus, but to even get here, you'll need at least Silo's red magic to traverse the huge gap in order to get over here. On your way, you will be forced to clear out an area of nightmares that weren't too tough, but there are countless waves of them, so it is a bit time consuming. But then once you finally get to the labyrinth, there will be a refugee next to it, which is nice for fast travel point in case you need to leave and come back later after you've leveled up a bit, because this dungeon is rough. So now that we're at the labyrinth, let's talk about what made me want to put a hole through my controller. I've heard this is possible fairly early on in the game, but from my experience, I recommend at the very least getting all types of magic before entering, because every enemy has a different type of weakness, and you'll need to use their weaknesses to your advantage to even stand a chance. There are 7 rooms in total in this labyrinth, with every other room being a boss room. For example, you'll have regular enemies in rooms 1, 3, and 5, and boss rooms in rooms 2, 4, 6, and 7. Once you enter the labyrinth, there's a room with a giant gap you'll need to cross. Nothing crazy, just a little buffer to get you started. So room 1 has the elk and alligator enemies in it. This is just a buffer for what's to come. Be sure to scan them and use their weaknesses for the best chance, and this goes for the whole labyrinth. Always scan, so you know what you're going up against. Take them out and you move on to room 2. Room 2 is a boss room with 3 Lapras-like creatures in it. This room isn't hard, but it is a bit frustrating because of the water and how little land there is to actually stand on and attack effectively. These are weak to phrase magic, so just dwell on them until they're dead and then head to your next room. Room 3 is another ad room full of everyone's favorite types of enemies, the flying ones. These are weak to Prov's water magic, so go in and just toss water at them, do the water tornadoes until they're all dead. Room 4 is another boss room, and it's full of more flying enemies. Great. These are larger ones, so they're a bit easier to hit and track, but it's still frustrating because they never land. So it's hard to actually use your abilities effectively and get them down quickly. So just kind of do your best to well on them until their health comes down little by little, and then just, take them out. Room 5 is full of bears and ogres. These are weak to green magic. A little tip here I used to get me some breathing room is to use displacement. This ability will create an illusion of fray that the enemies will attack for a few moments, giving you time to assess and heal up when needed, or to even charge in and use your ultimate attack and do damage to all the enemies in the area. Room 6 is full of 3 behemoth type enemies, their weakness being Silo's red magic. I personally find this room to be the easiest of the boss rooms, but it's likely because my red magic was leveled way more than my other types of magic. So again, just take your time. They jump around a lot, maneuver around them, dodge here and there, but you should be fine. Take them out, move on to room 7. The final room, and probably the most annoying room in the entire game, is room 7. This room has another one of those flying birds, but it is accompanied by 2 of the most frustrating enemies in any game I've ever played. They are 2 fire type enemies. I call them Fire Hulks. They have 2 moves that they spam over and over and over. One where they create giant fire spirit bomb and toss it at you with a giant area of effect. This one's easy to avoid, just kind of run around in circles. If you get behind them, they can't toss it behind them, so it's kind of easy to avoid. And the second being a homing Hulk smash that creates an impossible to avoid area of effect spike fire thing. I died more times here than my entire playthrough of the game, so be ready to rage a few times. The Fire Hulks are weak to green magic, so again, use displacement to keep them busy for a while you go back and you heal or charge in into your ult. Just use it as much as possible to give you some breathing room. Just keep running around them, taking shots when you get a chance, and I promise you'll eventually take them out. It might take a while, but it can be done. But once those 2 enemies are gone, all you have left is the annoying flying bird. But I'll take those any day over the stupid Fire Hulks. Not a fan of those. But just well on it with some water when you get a chance. And with that, you've finished the labyrinth and you can get the cloak that you wanted and that you suffered so long for. Like I mentioned before, this is the hardest challenge that I've done in Forspoken so far. But the cloak is totally worth it because of all the stat boosts you get, along with some of the perks that come with it. How many times did the fight take you? And how many times did you consider tossing your PS5 or PC out of the window? Me, I contemplated a couple times, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my gosh, was it frustrating. But let me know down below how you feel about this. If you like the cloak, if there's any other cloaks that you prefer over this one. And while you're down there, be sure to subscribe and like for more Forspoken content. And if you're looking for another guide, I have a guide on all the mutants in the game and where they are. So be sure to check out that video. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.